For 4 years, they have trained, practiced, repetition in search of perfection, preparing their bodies to respond to a moment in time. They have learned to feel the moment, to let it happen, to let it flow. For the last 4 years, for some, their whole lives, they have waited for this moment to arrive. This chance to prove what they can do on the field, in the pool, on the court, and to show others why they are worthy of being called Paralympians.
To say, it's a great atmosphere in the velodrome here now. Australia facing up against the United States. Australia as the fastest qualifiers. At the bottom of our picture on the other side of the track is the USA team of Daniel Nicholson, Paul Martin and Ron Williams. Now it's going to be down to Greg Ball against Ron Williams, the 30-year-old who now lives in Birmingham, Alabama. He's got an awful lot to do to pull back the Australians, and taking out the gold and the silver medals.
That was Ron Williams' first Paralympic medal in his career. He came to Athens with a goal of winning just one medal, and he and his teammates did it. Days later, he took to the streets to try to win another on the road. It's been a wild ride for the Birmingham, Alabama cyclist who had his whole life changed 16 years ago with one doctor visit.
I was an elite-level soccer player and had dreams of going to college to play soccer and maybe playing for the U.S. Olympic team. Those dreams were changed by my cancer diagnosis. At age 15, I was diagnosed with a bone tumor, osteogenic sarcoma. Being diagnosed with cancer as a child is definitely a life-altering event. And then I had to undergo a lung surgery to remove tumors from my lungs. And then the easiest surgery of my whole 18 months was having my leg amputated, because I finally got that cancer out of my body. Once they amputated my leg, they took the cancer with it.
For many cancer survivors, the most important thing is to have a support system, friends and family that are there for you through the good days and bad. Ron had extraordinary support.
One evening before my leg amputation, we all got together and had a party for them cutting off my leg, and we actually drew a line on my leg that said, "Do not cut above," and then colored in where they could cut. So it's twisted, but it was the way that me and my family and friends dealt with the cancer diagnosis.
The other important part of Ron's life that did not change after his amputation was his active lifestyle. Ron heard about the Paralympics from a mountain bike friend who suggested he go to the Disability Cycling National Championships.
I showed up there. I was not the svelte guy I am today. I was about 200 pounds. And I met fellow competitor and now teammate Paul Martin there. And I raced against Paul, and I lost miserably. But from that point forward, I knew what I had to do. I knew that there was no messing around, that these guys were elite athletes, and this was an aerobic sport. I had to lose weight, I had to get a coach, I had to get some direction.
1999. On his way home from that race, Ron called a coach that had some experience getting a cancer survivor back to the top of the cycling world. That rider was Lance Armstrong, and the coach was Chris Carmichael.
I rode with him across the country in the Bristol-Myers Tour of Hope in 2003 and got a chance to really just share my story and hear Lance's story from Lance. And it's a very powerful connection that any cancer survivors have together. Cancer has given me the opportunity to be here, given me the opportunity to compete in the Paralympics, and given me the opportunity to share a message of hope and survival through the cards that I was dealt.
Ron went on to win a bronze on the road. Every summer, Ron spends time working with kids who have cancer at a place called Camp Sunshine. My guess is that all those kids, his family and friends, will probably spend years reliving the 2004 Paralympic Games. And should one of those kids become captain of the U.S. cycling team someday, it will probably be the proudest day of Ron's life.